Namaste. Well, I've made a very important discovery. Yesterday I received the Māhātmya-Khaṇḍa. It's a big book, as you can see, 800 and something pages, and large format. Beautiful edition. Set me back almost 2,000 rupees, but it's well worth it because it gives the background for the Lalita-rahasya that we have been studying so far. Tripurā-rahasya. And what's really nice about it is it includes the Sanskrit. So you can go back and research and look up the words and so on like that, which I always do, don't you? Anyway, this reveals a very important point. You know, from the beginning of this channel, I've been talking about background and foreground, context and content, and that without context, you can't really determine the meaning of the content. So, of course, this is true of Tripurā-rahasya as well. So the problem is, Ramanashramam published the Jñāna-Khaṇḍa of Tripurā-rahasya without publishing the Māhātmya-Khaṇḍa, the background, the context that gives the meaning, and also shows the proper approach to jnana. You see, I feel this is irresponsible because maybe they have not come out and directly said it, but by their editorial decisions, they strongly imply that no background is necessary. And this is a very common, all too common belief among the followers of Ramana, so-called followers of Ramana. Now, we have often mentioned about Buddha's teaching, that Buddha's teaching, separated from its original context of Vedic society, lacks meaning because it lacks context, background that gives it meaning. So the Buddhist commentators had to invent a whole mythology to explain a lot of the teachings of the Buddha. And because they weren't realized, in most cases they weren't realized, they got it wrong. So what now is called Buddhism has very little to do with Buddha's actual teaching. Similarly, what passes now for Advaita is actually totally different than the authentic Advaita, which was compiled mainly by Shankaracharya. You see this tripundra that I'm wearing in 12 places on my body. This was a standard established by Shankaracharya. And those who follow him also follow the standard. But these upstarts who want to divorce jnana from its background of karma yoga, bhakti yoga, and raja yoga, you see, they don't get it. They don't get the meaning. They have to construe some meaning. You see, and it becomes an artifice. It's not the real teaching. Anybody who grows up in India, especially South India, and especially around Tiruvannamalai, knows this background. So for Ramana to recommend, for example, reading out loud the Ribhu Gita, or publishing the Jñāna-Khaṇḍa of Tripurā-rahasya, it seems natural, because for him there's no chance to misunderstand it. But for Westerners who lack that cultural background, there's every possibility, in fact, a certainty that they will misunderstand it. Because what is shown by example is a far more powerful teaching than what is given by precept and lectures and so on. So, even though Ramana spoke again and again and again and again, bhakti is the key to jnana. The Neo-Advaitins, now the fashionable hipster followers of Ramana, don't do any sadhana. They don't follow any regulative principles. They don't take a guru. The most serious point. Because in this original Māhātmya-Khaṇḍa, again and again and again, the point is made. One must take a guru. One must have initiation in the lineage coming from the real teachers. Without that, you're lost. You're a ship without a rudder. There's nobody to correct you if you're wrong. You can waste decades, whole lifetimes, and not get realization because you made some little mistake in the beginning. My Adi Guru Prabhupada used to point out, if you're making 10 pages of calculations and you make a mistake on the first page, the rest of the 9 pages are garbage. You won't get any correct answers. So in the same way, if you omit taking guru, which is the first step, then all the rest of your efforts are useless. Not useless because you'll learn the hard way that you should have taken a guru when you don't get any results. And this is what's happening. I made a video, jump up, fall down. And this is what's happening. People are trying to jump up to jnana without the background, without the preparation, the foundation of karma, jnana, and Raja Yoga. So they fall down. What can you say? They won't listen to you because they won't accept instruction from anybody. They think they know it all. Didn't everybody hate that kid in school who just breezed through classes with straight A's and seemed to know it all without working on it? But then what happens when that kid hits real life? He falls down. In the same way, the people who glibly accept Jñāna-yoga without the real background, they don't get realization. They can talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk, to use a common expression. So this is what I have to say. Here's a good example. If you've been following this channel, that we have or had a private channel for people who wanted, to really do this stuff. And so I taught a 3-minute ritual with 3 shlokas and 3 prostrations to honor the Guru. Nobody could do it. Nobody could do it or would do it because they're all smart enough to do it. But because this disease of Neo-Advaita has penetrated and destroyed their intelligence, they can't bring themselves to surrender, even to the principle of Guru. What to speak of actually taking a Guru and face to face, I have a Guru. After all these years, I still have a Guru. In fact, I have several. My Sannyas Guru, my Sri Vidya Guru, and my Advaita philosophy guru. And we discuss back and forth all the time. They watch these videos. So they know what I'm saying. If I say something wrong, I'm going to hear about it. This is necessary because they are far more experienced in this teaching than I am. I'm a new kid on the block. I came to Advaita, in the form of Ramana's teaching only 2 years ago. So, I'm trying to make up for lost time. I'm studying very hard. And they're helping me a lot. Without them, I have no business teaching Advaita because I wouldn't have a real guru. I wouldn't have a living relationship with a real person who is realized in this knowledge. So in the same way, these kids, man, these kids today, by golly, I tell you, when I joined my guru's temple at age 27, we had not 3 shlokas to memorize, we had about 25. And we had to memorize them to get through the morning program, which lasted about 4 hours. I'm giving these guys a 3-minute ritual to connect with the principle of guru, and they can't even do it. At that point, I lost interest. I said, these guys aren't serious. It's not worth my time. There's only one who, because he surrendered to guru at an early age, he got realization. And we can talk on an equal level. And it's wonderful. I finally have somebody that I can talk to. Because here, on this channel, I have to be very cautious not to reveal anything confidential. See, that's another thing about having a guru. The guru knows the secrets. So that's the thing. There are so many things, actually, that can only be passed down by hearing from a master. So what can I do? If no one will approach guru, I cannot pass those things down, or I lose my credibility, my legitimacy, my authenticity as a teacher. So this is the thing. I'm not sure how we're going to proceed in this series from this point on. I mean, originally I ordered this book because I wanted to get that conversation between Parashuram and Samvarta. You know, the one that he says he couldn't understand? Well, if you read it, you'll understand why. So, one of the things that Samvarta says, which is very, very important, is that this path cannot be understood by instruction, only by practice. So if you don't do the practices, you won't get it. You can't get it because it has to come from inside you. It can't come from outside, from somebody else. The most that the teacher can do is point you in the right direction, say, practice this, do that, don't do this. So in that way, the teacher sets the limits and gives the direction and gives you a push, gives you some encouragement, and corrects you if you go off course before you create too much damage. So what can I do? I can tell nice stories all day long. And I guess maybe most of you, that's what you want. Given the lack of engagement, the lack of feedback, the lack of intelligent comments, the lack of anybody actually showing up and wanting real instruction in this stuff. That's the most I can do. I can tell nice stories. Okay, so I'll tell nice stories. I have a whole big book full of them now. So, all right. I'm going to think this over for a few days and then see how we're going to continue. Aum Tat Sat. Aum Harihi Aum.